Although not as thrilling as the first two races of this season, the 2021 Portuguese Grand Prix still gave us plenty of excitement and things to talk about after 66 laps around the Algarve circuit. You had Lewis Hamilton extending his championship lead with his 97th Grand Prix victory, Lando Norris maintaining third in the championship with his fourth straight top 5 finish, and Alpine finally showing some great pace to secure a double points finish with Ocon getting the better of Alonso all weekend. There was plenty more to talk about, but there was one driver in particular who especially stood out in Portugal, even though he was further down the grid. It might not look like much, but Mick Schumacher's 17th place finish for Haas sealed his best weekend in Formula 1 to date. After making some rookie errors in his opening 2 races, Schumacher was able to have a relatively smooth weekend and was able to extract more from the Haas VF21 in terms of performance than he did in Bahrain and Imola. We know 2021 won't be a headline-making year for Haas, at least for the right reasons, that is, but Schumacher's Portuguese Grand Prix performance stood out for a driver who has been so highly touted even before even entering Formula 1. Remember, if you like these types of videos, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you never miss any videos following an F1 race in 2021. In a year in which they'll be lucky to even score points, your main emphasis as a driver has to be to defeat your teammate over the course of the season. So far in 2021, Mick is doing just that as he's 3-0 against Mazepin in both qualifying and the race. Through 3 sessions so far, Schumacher is out-qualifying Mazepin by an average of 0.6 of a second. Now, although Schumacher's highest starting position has only been 18th, when we look at the gap in the Q2 cutoff in the first 3 races, he's progressively getting closer to the likes of Williams and even Alfa Romeo at times. We know the struggles of the Haas car in 2021, so for a rookie those numbers are not half bad, and certainly are promising for the rest of the season. In the races, Mick has outclassed his teammate, and the disparity between the two was most obvious at the Portuguese Grand Prix. Schumacher finished almost a minute ahead of Mazepin after the young Russian had another eventful race once again. It seems like Mazepin couldn't even get lapped properly after he nearly collided with then race leader Sergio Perez, which he ultimately got a 5-second penalty for. On the other hand, Schumacher respectively gave way to the faster cars even in the midst of his battles for position, which I'm sure his fellow drivers greatly appreciated. Schumacher's highest finish to date is 16th place, which he got in both Bahrain and Imola, but that was in large part due to the DNFs behind him. It's why his 17th place finish in Portugal stood out to many, and you could easily have given him driver of the day as well because of his stellar drive. It might seem odd to praise a driver for finishing in 17th place, but considering all the circumstances surrounding Haas's season, it's something that's worth highlighting. After pulling away from his teammate in the second stint of the race, the battle toward the end between the Haas and the Williams of Nicholas Latifi caught the eye of the broadcast crew and fans watching at home. It's not often Haas gets airtime for on-track action nowadays, so you can forgive us for being quite excited about seeing this battle. After numerous laps of continuous pressure on Latifi, Schumacher's consistency and pace forced the Canadian into a lockup in turn 3, which allowed Schumacher to take 17th place. It wasn't an easy move either, as the repeated blue flags made it difficult for both drivers, but eventually Schumacher's persistence paid off. Rewatching his onboards post-race, Mick Schumacher drove extremely well and handled himself much better than in the first 2 races. It's great to see that he's getting more and more comfortable with the tricky VF21 in what is a massive learning curve for the 2 Haas rookies. It must be hard to compete race in and race out knowing you'll be fighting at the back of the grid, but Mick is making the most out of his first season in F1 at Haas. As their new car won't be heavily developed throughout 2021, Haas most likely won't be fighting for more than a Q2 appearance here and there and a one-off chance for a points finish. Add in 2 rookie drivers and it makes it all the more challenging, but the young German star is giving Haas plenty of reasons to be optimistic for this year and beyond. Haas team principal Gunther Steiner pointed out that they made a step forward in Portugal, saying post-race, quote, "When you sit there and can't get by Latifi, frustration sets in. And that's a good thing, as it means we could have more. Schumacher echoed similar thoughts post-race as well, and he suspects they could have had another position as well had he been able to get by Latifi a little earlier. It's a small step for a team who is struggling, and also a team who's at a crossroads in their future in the sport. Schumacher's work ethic and enthusiasm has been inspiring to Haas, and the team also deserves a lot of credit for providing their young drivers with a healthy environment to learn. If you listen to the calm, coaching voice of Schumacher's race engineer Gary Gannon,
"Checkered flag, Mick, checkered flag. Well done, man. Great driving. You put him under the pressure, and he made a mistake, and you did it. Great job."
Yeah, car was great. Thank you.
he does an excellent job of uplifting his young driver and keeping him focused on the task at hand. It might not look like much on paper, but Mick Schumacher's 17th place in Portugal was actually quite impressive. Even if it is a small step forward, it's at least trending in the right direction, and it means we'll get to see more wheel-to-wheel action from the young Schumacher. So what did you think of Mick's performance in Portugal? Comment your thoughts down below, and let us know also what you thought of the 2021 Portuguese Grand Prix. We hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to tune into our race recap podcast in a couple days' time, right here on the Backmarkers F1 Show channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon in the next video.